Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Miriam and I love books. In 2021 I challenged myself to read 365 books, and today I'm sharing with you my TBR for July. In July I want to read 31 books, which seems sort of obvious because, well, the month has 31 days, like a year has 365 days, and I need to read a book a day in order to get to my goal. Although some days I read only like a couple of pages. Well, I try to read at least 50 pages a day, but on other days I finish like 3 books. That's the deal. I think my record for finishing, I think it's 4 books on a day, maybe 5, but I don't know if that was this year or a previous year. Anyway, for those of you who've seen previous TBR videos, I usually pick 20 books to read and then leave the other 11 books for just, well, so it's a bit loose, so I can just pick a book I like. But for July's TBR I actually picked out 12 books, and there's one series amongst them, so it's a total of 15 books. Because I did not read all the books I was supposed to read in April, I did not read all the books I was supposed to read in May, and I did not read all the books I was supposed to read in June, so I'm adding those books to the list, but I won't be sharing them with you because I've already shared them in previous TBR videos. Like with the previous TBR videos, first I'm showing you the books that are originally Dutch and I will obviously read in Dutch. Second, I share with you the books that were written in English or a different language and I'm going to read in Dutch. And the last books I'm sharing with you are the books that are in English, or some of them are actually translated from a different language into English and I'm going to read them in English. And the other books that are just written in English that I'm going to read in English. So let's dive into the book. The first Dutch original is a non-fiction book. It's called Kinderboeken schrijven, which can be translated as writing children's books. So far I've written books for young adults and, well, middle grade, but maybe in the future I'd like to write a children's book, so therefore I'm going to read this book. I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to read it and maybe write a children's book. The next Dutch original book is Scherven van het geluk, and I think you can translate the title as The Shattered Pieces of Happiness. But I'm not entirely sure because I have not read the book. I've read another book by the author, Levi Weemoed. I think in the Netherlands we say Levi and not Levi, so let's leave it there. And that was a long time ago. I had to read it for school, but I enjoyed the book. I mean, not all books that we have to read for school are books we enjoy, but I enjoyed that book. So I'm quite curious for this book. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I always read a book from the Duivendael series. That series is not finished. I'm going to read book 6. In total there are 9 books. I'm not showing it you this time. I'm sort of looking forward to it because in book 5 there's like a storyline started, an arc of a storyline, and that one is completed in book 6. And I will also read a book from the Campers series, and those are both Dutch original books. The next book on the list is not a Dutch book, but it's written in the South African language, which was derived from Dutch. The book I'm going to read is Hannah by, I don't know the name of the author. I've never read a book by her before, but it's a biblical fiction on Hannah from the Bible, and I'm really looking forward to that book. I did not know it was in my TBR jar, but when I got it out and saw what the book was about, I thought, oh yes, I'm going to read this book. This is so exciting. Next I'm going to read a book that was originally written in German. The book that guys in England and America I think know as The Cost of Discipleship by Mr. I'm giving up. I've tried to say his name so many times, but I think in Dutch we say Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I'm not sure about that, how we Dutchies pronounce it, and I don't know how the Germans pronounce it. Maybe I should look it up. Anyway, this is my second non-fiction book of the month. I might actually start it in June because, well, at the moment it's the 17th of June and I've almost finished both my non-fiction books for this month, and maybe I'm trying to get a head start with this book because I'm not sure whether it's really easy, but maybe if it is really easy I will finish it in June and then I'll have to pick another book, non-fiction book for July, but we'll see about that. Another book I'm going to read in Dutch, the Dutch title is Kijk omhoog. It was written by Courtney Walsh, and the original title is Just Look Up, which is, the Dutch translation is quite a literal translation of the original title. And I've heard so many great stories about this book. It's the first one in the Harbour Point series, and like I said, I've heard so many great stories and I'm really excited about reading this book. It has a very summery cover which fits with July because July is summer over here at least. So yeah. And there are two other books that were originally written in English and I'm going to read the Dutch books, the Dutch translations. The Lost History of Stars, and I totally forgot the name of the author, and also, well, I did not write it down on my list, so I don't know. I think it was Dave something. Dave Bowling? Yep, I think that was it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the last book is Now and Then and Always by Melissa Tagg. I remembered that name because I looked it up like a couple of times who was the author of this book. So I remember that one. I also heard a lot of great stories about that book, so yeah, I don't know, but I look forward to all these books. I mean, it's always the case that that's what I find myself into, that if I make a TBR for the next month, I'm like, I wish it were next month so I could read all these great books. But I also thought that when I was putting my TBR for June together, so what went wrong? I don't know. Well, to be honest, I have a lot of great books to read in June. I have not completed my TBR yet, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to all these books, but some of the books are so big, so I want to read a small book before I start with a big book. So yeah, well, you can imagine why, because I think I've said this before, but reading big books is quite a challenge if you're reading 365 books a year. I actually read quite a few novellas in order to remain on track, but hopefully with, well, cutting out the weekly wrap-up video, that gives me some more time to read, so I won't have to read all these novellas and have to skip all the big books that I am really excited about, but also feel a bit overwhelmed if I have to read them. So the first book I'm going to read in English is actually a series, the Team Hope collection by Susan May Warren. Actually, I have quite a few books by Susan May Warren that I still need to read for June, and hopefully I can finish those books, because otherwise I will be reading, all the books I will be reading are from Susan May Warren, and I really like her books, but in my experience, if you read too many books by an author in a row, you get a bit sick of them. So I'll see what I can do about it. Maybe if I finish like the other series, the Noble Legacy, I believe, is on my TBR for June. If I finish those books at like the end of June, then I might read the Team Hope series at the end of July. But we'll just see about that. Maybe I'm really excited and want to continue. That's also possible. I'm also going to read Once Upon a Prince by Rachel Hawke. I believe that's actually also part of a series, but I'm not sure whether the other books are on Kobo Plus as well. So I'm going to read that one as an ebook. If that's the case, then I will probably read the other books as well. Another English book I'm going to read, the physical copy, is Tweet Cute. This is a YA romance story, and I believe I was convinced to buy this book by Oshina. She said it was a cute book. I mean, it has cute in its title, and I'm really looking forward to it. And the last two books on my TBR are two books by Fredrik Backman. Am I saying his name right? I don't know. Anyway, I read Beartown about a year and a half ago, and I'm really curious what Us Against You is about. But this also sort of scares me because it's quite a big book. It has 400 pages, and the font is really small, but I'm going to read this one. Backman's writing style is usually, well, not easy to read, but usually I'm really engrossed into the story, and I don't seem to notice that it's such a big book. And the other is Britt Marie Was Here. This is a smaller book. This was my TBR for July. As you know, I won't be posting weekly wrap-up videos, but I will be posting a monthly wrap-up on the first or second Monday of the month. It sort of depends. I mean, if Monday is on the 1st or the 2nd of the month, then I won't post a video, but I will post it a week later. But we'll just see about that. I don't want to get too much pressure on myself for doing the monthly wrap-up videos. But I think it will be alright. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in a comment what books are on your TBR for July. And as always, happy reading!